The Temple of Baal, located in Syria, is so much more than just crumbled stone. In my opinion, it is a haunting reminder that the previous civilization had a very dark side. We showed the Temple of Baal, but did you know that right next to this site in Syria, we have a castle from the old world, located up on top of a cliff, where we all know just by looking at this and all of the research that we've done to this point, we know that this thing is so much bigger and has been completely melted and turned into sand. We know that they told us that the Temple of Baal, that is right here, right next to this castle, where I believe they were both constructed by the same group during the exact same period. We were told that the Temple of Baal was found in 32 AD. 32 AD. Not 31, not 33, but pinning it down to 32 AD. With a side note that we are correct yet again. It is inaccessible today due to being in a war zone. War zones. These zones, in my opinion, are to block the public from seeing what was there, or what still is. When the main entrance has been destroyed, a great way to destroy the true history, to just blow it up and chalk it up to a war. So 32 AD, this one is constructed 2,000 years ago. Then they wait like 1,200 years to build a castle. This is what we are being told, right next to each other, 1,200 years apart. I think this is very obvious that these structures were constructed during the exact same time period. This entire location was clearly an old world city, a palace city, and I don't believe it was thousands of years ago. I believe it was so much closer to our timeline than what we are being told, and has been mostly destroyed, making it look older than it is. With our friends over here at this group, interested in our favorite locations yet again, stating that this one is one of the most important cultural centers of the ancient world, the old world, the previous civilization. This is the Tadmor Castle and was placed on the list of World Heritage Sites in Danger in 2013 due to an ongoing Syrian civil war. The castle was captured by the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant in 2015, then recaptured in 2016. Now remember, it was supposedly perfectly fine for centuries until our timeline comes around and it starts being captured every year and then put into dangered war zones. What kind of season does this sound like to you? Making the case stronger and stronger, making it sound like a little season to me, with the Book of Life on the way. It's all very interesting, with retreating ISIS fighters blowing up parts of the castle, including the stairway, leading to the entrance, causing extensive damage, all right in front of our faces. Yet I would bet even some of our greatest history majors have most likely never even seen this place before. All by design. This location definitely wasn't highlighted in History 101, 102, or whatever other number they want to make up. With a few more captures here in 2016, and again in 2017. Every year, recapturing this place. It's ridiculous. And even more ridiculous is that we are told that this was built by the Mamluks. And why is this ridiculous? Well, because Mamluks translates to one who is owned, or down here stating much clearer, originally the Mamluks were this word. Again, not going to say that word ever again here, since we had a major issue with it in the past. So we're going to leave that word alone, but you can see it right here. So let's read this again. The Old World Palace Castle was built 1,200 years later by a bunch of Laves with an S at the front. These stories are insane. To believe that this kind of group can construct a palace castle that lasts forever is insane to believe at this point. While they were purchased property, their status was above ordinary. The people that worked for free back in the 1300s These are the people that we are told are the master builders of the past. It's incredible. No training necessary, just going up on that cliff with no power tools, in the sand and building a palace castle 800 years ago. And it just so happens that it's right next to hundreds of columns and a temple the size of the Pyramid of Giza. All a coincidence, of course. No. So because there's a war going on here, we don't get to drop the guy down on this location and look around. Could you imagine waking up and here's the supermarket with your sports club over here and a hair salon. Then you have temples, castles, and the Tower of Elebol, all right outside your window in the morning, all dating back 2,000 years. Thanks to the experts, we know this now. Well, no, we don't. When we all show up and the tower was demolished using explosives in 2015, this is a clear attack on the true history to hide what really happened here where we all live, blocking sites off from us, calling it a war, and then bombing these places. It happens over and over. In this shot, we also see the Damascus Gate. This is Palmyra. So I'm gonna guess that this was renamed since Damascus is 134 miles away. And I could honestly look at this picture all day. I believe this picture proves that the history that we were all given is a complete lie. It proves that something happened here. An extremely advanced group was here and is now gone and is 100% being hidden from all of us, telling us that we are the most advanced group to ever be here. This lie is no longer acceptable. Clearly, there's been a civilization, and most likely civilizations, that have been here with incredible technology, and their construction proves this. It's left here all over the place for all of us to see, which is exactly why they have to blow it all up, because it takes the mainstream narrative and it rips it right in half. It completely destroys story time for the mainstream lovers. We are exposing it all and proving that this place that we all live is so much more than what we are told. And we are just getting started today. Welcome to episode 98 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. After thousands of customer requests, the wellness company has just launched the Kids Medical Emergency Kit. You no longer have to deal with emergency illnesses in panic mode. Now you can have 6 critical medications at your fingertips to treat more than 20 illnesses for issues like strep throat, ear infections, lice, and respiratory illnesses, avoiding urgent care in hospitals. The Kids Emergency Kit has been hand-selected by the wellness company's medical board. It includes chewable amoxicillin and an optional EpiPen, and so much more. This also includes a detailed guidebook guiding you step by step in emergencies. Ordering this kit is simple. Only parents can order for their children. Fill out an intake form and you will get a verification call for consent. Then it'll be delivered to your door. Don't wait until you're in the middle of a crisis and avoid late-night urgent care runs. Order your kids' emergency kit today and remove panic from your life. And if 1 or 2 of the scripts run out, there's a replenishment option to restock only what you need. Go to twc.health/MLB and grab your kids' emergency kit right now. Use code MLB to save $30 at checkout. These kits are only available in the USA, so go to twc.health/MLB to get your kit today. And I want to thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app. I'll put the link right in the description. And you can use my referral code, MLB. If you click the Tartaria button, you'll see the My Lunch Break playlist right here. The app is awesome. Thank you to Rebecca Kay, The Lady Lacey Show, David and Sherry Ferguson, Edwin Johnson, Chuck Templeton, Joy Lee, Stephanie Nolan, The Burlesons, Suez KC, Edwin Rice, Helmut, Charles Kruger, Don Gaston, Dan Woodall, Dale, DJ Clicktrack, Edward and Brianna, Jacob Law, Jim Ribley and Christine Duggan, Kyle Glasscock, PKTFnews.org, Regna Saturna, Dendries NL, Natalie Shippenoff, Amberson EMC, HK Sue, Isaac Wright, Melissa Edgar, Biggles, Clayton Lamar, Ultimus Maximus, Noble Task Homestead, John Adams, Robert Ozolins, Crypto Skugo, Rick Tapkey, Blake, Billy Prater, The Phoenix Art, The Arnolds, Attila Power, VKH Bonner, Bell's Clarions for God, Forbidden Gecko Love, Justin Grobner Grubb, Leah Strong, Peter Batani, Dakota Dunn, Eric Martinez, Ivan Apoctoli, Jim Bro, EdgarT-shirts.com, Meta, Jason Hochberg, Marie C, ValleyMedicinals.com, Kyle Logan, Alina and Chris the IT Guy, Ron Mower, David and Irene, Michael Dingyu, Patriot Armory, Tom O'Hara, Michael D. Connor, William Royal, C3SCOB, Ancient Tallow, Jeffrey Temple, SonyaDane.com, James Alton, Bucksui, Jason Prest, Suki Warrior, We the People, Migs, Miss Rex's Murphy, Mark Chapman, Muji and DeClan, Ariana Oates, Jenica Joyce, Nathan Burba, Ski, Codrenth, The Sovereign, Beacon of Truth, Liberty's Arborist, Thomas Thorpe Peterson, Zinger Coffee and Tea, Natasha C, K Moore, DevlinMcGregor.com, Miss Fox, Diamond Jewel, David Rauschenbach, Emily Maryland, Felipe, Curious Cat, Mike D, etc., Dan McGee, Lori Hedvig Johnson, Terry, Paraplegic Coffee, Avatars of Gaia, Secrets Beyond Earth, Ellie Annie, Ivan Apoctoli, Seth Craigo, D Woods, Glenn Gunderson, Mousie's Mouse Cheese Records, James Vincent, Robert's Brain is Gone, Extreme Reality Check, Anna and Marley Valdez, Shane Dennis, Wayne T, TheGoldenTeacher.co, Late for Dinner, Wanakar Camo, Paolo Goncalves, Dax Bilchek, Appeal to Heaven, G Power, Festive Trev, Hen Patriot, Doc Halo, Henry's Mom, Vince Moreno, Shiba Shaba in the Darkness. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. Obviously, I had to come back to this location. It's extremely significant to our research and needed to be explored further. Having columns destroyed all over the place, telling us that this is from 2,000 years ago, a site that none of us can go and see today. Regardless of which religion the historical sites worshipped, or still do, I believe that they are very important to understanding the true past of this place that we all live, and should not be destroyed today, just because we don't agree with what they were used for. This being said, there are some groups here today that may be planted to destroy the true history, and they might not agree with what I just stated. When this group, having a history of destroying ancient structures, stating that they would destroy any artifacts that they didn't agree with religiously, and proceeded to detonate a large quantity of explosives inside the Temple of Baal, completely destroying the building in 2015. And I want to be very clear, this is a separate temple than the Temple of Baal that we've previously covered, where the temple was also destroyed. Not only did they destroy both of these temples, they also destroyed the monumental arch. The same exact arch that I said I could look at all day, because it gives it all away. That arch is gone. When it was officially destroyed in 2015, destroying structures and sites all over the world. Sites that easily prove that something is off about what we've all been told. And they say they have plans to rebuild it. Right. Yeah, you're not rebuilding that. We all know that's not going to happen.
Too many beautiful cities. I've seen those cities. They're so beautiful, and that, I don't know how you can ever rebuild them the way they were. It's not possible. I don't know how you can ever rebuild them the way they were. It's not possible.
When this is our civilization's replica, at this point, we shouldn't even embarrass ourselves. Saying we're going to rebuild things from the old world, it actually exposes the fact that we can't do it, or it takes so much longer. It exposes the truth. Blowing this site up using dynamite, and in 2016, very little of the arch remained standing. You are always free to think whatever you'd like. As always, I am simply speaking based on everything that we have seen throughout so many hours of research here. Now, I do believe that this was most likely the site where Baal was located. I also don't believe that this took place thousands of years ago. Like I've stated, I believe that this is why there is an obvious attempt, even to this day, to destroy it all. To prove my point, why didn't anybody go in there and destroy this place in 1650? Why not 1420, the year 1000? Well, it's because, of course, in my opinion, those years are not real, at least the way that we think about them. I believe the actual year is fabricated. I don't believe that this temple was erected 2,000 years ago. There was an advanced civilization here that constructed these things within the last few hundred years. And all of their work is here for us to see. And I do not believe that these so-called myths are so mythical after all. I think this place that we all live today is much different than we all understand, where we are all coming together and exposing the lies, showing the massive flaws in the stories. We are told that they are myths, and then see massive temples all over the place that are being destroyed over and over. Proof that what we're being told is a lie. Proof that a group of people were here that understood construction. Why hide a place from all of us if it's all just a myth? In mythological texts, Baal's dwelling is described as a magnificent palace with silver and gold, guarded like a fortress. All a myth, of course. Not anymore. The Temple of Baal was one of the most important temples in the ancient Near East and served as a focal point for religious ceremonies. Religious ceremonies, including sacrifices, just like we talked about in episode 97. All a myth, of course, with palaces all over the place, and the whole thing blown up right in front of our faces. All a myth, with text frequently describing this taking place. All dedicated to this figure. Not only do we see this figure in text from modern-day Syria, we see it written on clay tablets. We also see it in the Bible, the Old Testament, mentioning Baal worship multiple times, with references to this, with their locations right here. All just a myth, of course. Oh wait, what is this? Archaeological excavations at ancient Baal worship sites, such as Palmyra, found remnants that suggest sacrificial activity, showing that these so-called myths may not be so mythical after all, just like we've seen so many times. Finding bones at the site with multiple texts confirming this activity. Again, you are always free to think whatever you'd like, but I don't believe that these texts are from thousands of years ago. I believe our timeline is a total mess and a complete fabrication of our true history. There are certain groups that still worship certain things today. Do you think that they're just worshiping a mythical creature? You tell me. Now, we were told that they were uncovering bones at Palmyra, the exact same location that we have been investigating today. They also mention another location. And before we take this research even further, let's take a minute and thank all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber. More and more people are able to see this information because of all of you. And thank you to everyone who likes the episodes. We are also over on Rumble, X, Instagram, TikTok, Rockfin, and Spotify. Before we enter this location, we need to understand that there were texts found in this location. They found the text titled the Baal Cycle, a collection of texts. The Baal Cycle is composed of several epic poems or narrative fragments. The Baal Cycle provides indirect evidence of the types of rituals and offerings associated with Baal worship. They found all of this right here. They reflect the importance of rituals in ensuring Baal's favor and prosperity of the community. All of this within the text. Rituals included offerings, which were sacrificed to appease Baal and secure his blessings. The sacrifices were performed by priests. And then we can go back to the catacombs and see what they have done. Right underneath so many churches. What have they done? What have we just found? Have they been practicing something that worships the opposite side without any of us knowing it? Using our structures that were originally meant for good. What practice has taken place worldwide? What are we seeing today? Did we just show the cause of the catacombs a ritualistic intention, just like we have shown into geometric patterns, a sacrifice right under the church's floorboards, using the priest? We are told that the sacrifices were performed by the priests. This is unbelievable. Just over 200 miles driving from the Temple of Baal, all located in Syria. We have this location where they found the tablets, the location in which they found the Baal Cycle. The story. We are told that this is the location where the world got its first alphabet. And this is all documented, of course. No. With great fires taking place here as well. When they tell us the city seems to have been burnt, and the population probably diminished. Probably. Maybe. But we will never know according to the mainstream narrative. Just throwing things in there. It probably was from 32 AD. Probably. It might have been. Now they tell us that the city seems to have been burnt and the population probably diminished, but I have a feeling that they burned it down recently. Just like every other city in the world. So going back to this map, we can see that there was something of significance going on here. And a side note really quick, look how you can drop the guy down all over Europe. But once you go further south into Africa and the Middle East, it's just mass amounts of land that are unavailable to our view. Thousands and thousands of miles of land that I'm sure have clues to our past, either sitting on top of or underneath the layer of sand, and so much being hidden from us. For instance, look at this. It looks like there's nothing here. Like all there is just a bunch of sand. But once you click on it, we have so much going on. Playgrounds and the rest. It's like there's a civilization there that is not what we are shown from the aerial shot. It's very odd. So let's go back to the action. We are now shown 5 main sites in this city. The fortress, the main palace, the Acropolis, another Temple of Baal, and the Temple of Dagon, where we all know here that there is so much under our feet that would blow our minds today. When we see that after the chance discovery by local peasants in 1929, they excavated this site, unearthing the palace, which also gave us the tablets and artifacts, the previous civilization. The old world, finding more than 1,000 tablets in 1929, found right off the coast of modern-day Syria. Finding these tablets in 1929. It hasn't even been 100 years yet. Finding the Baal Cycle. 1,000 tablets. Could you even imagine what they found? Finding the Baal Cycle, including stories all about Baal. Now, what other stories are hidden below the surface? What are we not being shown? And what did they really find in 1929? Were any other stories found within those 1,000 tablets? What do you think? This place that we live is incredible. These are now places that we will all never forget. These are now stories that we will remember forever. Taking our research deeper and deeper, finding the truth all over the world, exposing that something massive happened right here where we are today. All happening within the last few hundred years. We're also exposing that the past, the old world stories, were being uncovered just 95 years ago in a location that we were told was mythical, where it doesn't seem so mythical after all. And the truth is going to be harder and harder to find the longer that we wait. Just like we see with these tablets, the site where the tablets were found has been affected by the conflict, and the exact extent of damage or loss to these specific tablets is less clear. They have removed the truth yet again. We are told that peasants found these stories just 95 years ago. 1,000 tablets is what we're told, when we know that there were probably more, and removing them from us right away, without a doubt, withholding information that would go against the mainstream story, telling us that the initial excavations revealed that they just found some pottery. Do you remember when I told you to remember the pottery? So they tell us they found some pottery. And don't forget the pottery. I believe the pottery is something that they give us so that we don't dig deeper. Don't forget this, because I'm going to show it again in future episodes. Remember the pottery. I no longer believe this to be the case. I think we all know now that they found much more than just some pottery, especially when we know that they found royal palaces, where excavations revealed the remains of grand royal palaces, large multi-story structures with elaborate decorations and extensive facilities. They found all of this. And they found temples, including the Temple of Baal, finding high priests' libraries containing a wealth of texts. The high priest's library was particularly important for its collection of religious and mythological texts, including the Baal Cycle, the legend of Daniel, and the death of Baal. These are the stories that we are told about, where we all know that there were so many more. All of this found in the 1920s, with more libraries located on the Acropolis, with more texts found in these libraries. Could you even imagine the information from the past that was found, that we're all not being told about? With access to the physical artifacts, the texts being restricted to ensure their preservation. Are we sure that this is the case? Restricting the public, impacting their accessibility to the public. It seems like an incredible excuse to me. And then making sure we all get excited about the pottery. I don't know about you, but I think I'm about done with all the pottery. I want to see the old world texts. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'll be back very soon with much more. See ya.